Welcome back, hotty toddy Rebel fans. This is episode 31 of the Rebel Nation Conversation. I am Umrebelfan69. My co-host is the Themetalreb. Together we make up the Rebel Nation Conversation podcast, your one-stop shop for uninformed and non-expert Ole Miss sports conversation.
Unsullied by sponsorship since 2025.
Right, folks, if you're watching us on YouTube channel, remember you're already where you need to be, but those catching us on TikTok, please come over at our YouTube channel and check out the full show. It's located at youtube.com/@the-RN-Convo. Just one other note, too. Remember, just another reminder that there's a good possibility we will not have a show for next week because we tape on Sundays, and that next Sunday is Easter Sunday. And a lot of family stuff going on, so if we don't get a show out there, we'll do our best to get some content out next week. Just probably won't be on Monday, and then but if not, we'll catch y'all back up on the next week. Metal, how's it going this week for you, man? All this pretty weather.
Going great. Enjoying this pretty weather, but we got some rain coming.
Yep,
this week's
supposed
to be moving in, but yeah, we need it. It's been very, very, very dry. Very, very dry. One thing before we get into the program today, just wanted to mention I meant to bring this up in the last session. We were talking about basketball, but just want to give a shout out to Sean Padula. Sean Padula is on the Los Angeles Clippers roster as a rookie, and he's gotten a little bit of playing time. He's splitting his time between the Clippers and their G League affiliate. He's on what they call a two-way contract, and a two-way contract allows a player to split time between the NBA team and their affiliate. You can do that for 4 years. After 4 years, you're not eligible for that sort of contract and that sort of deal. But a lot of guys have made it starting that way, so it's a good thing, man. It's good for Sean. It allows him to get his feet wet and occupy a roster spot, and where he hit a couple threes. So Ole Miss don't put many players in the NBA. So anytime we get somebody, I like to shout them out. So pulling for Sean. Hope he makes it. Hope he figures out a way to hang around the league a long time. It's gonna be tough, but I'm pulling for him. So just wanted to throw that in real quick.
Absolutely. He was a big reason for our success last year.
Oh yeah,
we were
how big until we didn't have him. So many times this year, I'd be watching the game. I'd be, man, I wish we had Padula out there.
And if that one little last shot last year, if it had rolled and fell instead of falling out, we're in the Elite Eight. So yeah. And he got us there. He got us in the Sweet 16 too, almost the same way.
Yeah, he played. He played very well in the tournament.
So, but yeah, congratulations, Sean. Glad you got it. And if they're giving him playing time too, they're definitely giving him the looks they need to see.
Yeah, he's on the roster. They're playing today, and he's on the active roster. So the more time he can log on that active roster, man, the better his odds are at getting a deal. And he only needs one or two good contracts, and he would be set. The NBA league minimum is $636,000 a year. So, man, if he could get a 2 or 3 year deal, he'd be in pretty good shape. Set him up.
Yep. Well, I hope he gets a little more looks at it.
Me too.
I know I was listening.
Rebel baseball.
Yeah, I wasn't real ready to head off into that, but before we do go off into that, though, Neil was saying something the other day, because I don't
Are we ready
watch
for that?
That's what I'm saying. I was, Neil, I listen to a lot of McCready and Siskey, and I mean, he's a big NBA guy. So the way he talks, pretty much the playoffs and stuff like that, kind of the teams are there set pretty much right now. I mean, I don't know when they even are because that's how much I don't follow it and everything. But are the Clippers in that conversation right now, or
For the playoffs?
yes?
Yeah, they're in the conversation. They had a terrible start, and then they turned it on. They're 8th seed in the West right now. Seed 7 through 10 have what they call a play-in. So what they do, seed 7 plays the 8th seed. The 9th seed plays the 10th seed. If you lose the game, if you're 7th or 8th seed and you lose the game, you still have an opportunity to get in because you play the winner of the 9th seed and the 10th seed. And if you win that game, you get in the playoffs. And the winner of the 7th, 8th seed gets in automatically. So yeah, they're going to have a chance at least to get in the play-in. They're probably not going to make the top 6 seed. It's too stacked. But so you're saying Neil thinks that this roster right now that they're playing with will be their playoff roster?
No. He was saying like the people, the teams that are in the playoffs have pretty much been set. It's done deal. The teams that have a chance to win in the championship type thing.
Yeah, right. Right now, all they're
like the Spurs. It's like they said, seeding.
They're fighting for seeding. They're fighting for seeding right now.
But so I guess what I was saying about what reason I brought that up about Badula was that, or about the Clippers, is he's not just getting playing time on a roster that's got no shot, and so they're bringing up all their young guys. I mean, they literally still got a great shot to be in this, and he's getting meaningful minutes then, not just
that's a playoff team he's on.
All right, 10-4. All right, well, so let's go ahead and dive off in there. It's like cold water. It's like cold water. There's only one way to get in it, and that's just all at once. Rebels probably had their worst week of baseball in this season so far. We dropped a midweek matchup against a very, very bad Memphis team by a score of 6-2. Again, but it was the same way. Rebels had plenty of chances. Had runners on base all night long. Just couldn't find the timely hitting. Striking out way too much. We had 10 strikeouts in that game. Mississippi State comes to town this week, and this is by far this could have been our crowning achievement right here, guys. And we just, we dropped game 1 by score 5-4, despite taking a lead in the bottom half of the 7th from an Austin Foley 3-run home run. They then allowed State to score 2 in the top of the 9th to retake the lead. Ultimately, which was ultimately the winning. But the thing is Rebels again in that game struck out 10 times. And then yesterday, more of the same. They only got 6 hits, striking out 9 times, losing 6-1. So, and right now, we're down 2-1.
Well, I mentioned to Dump earlier that it seemed like we was boom or bust, and he kind of pushed back a little bit, saying we were getting on base, but man, recently it.
Well, I mean, what he said was true. We're getting there. We're getting on base. We're just not getting them in. You've got to still get them across the base paths. And that's where we're not doing it. We're not hitting. Like I said, we had runners on base. We get the walks. We got against Memphis midweek action. We had runners on base a bunch. and then just couldn't strike, couldn't get anything. Couldn't get them in. In fact, we had one inning, we was bases loaded with Tristan Becerra at the down plate. The man we want, the home run leader on the team, and he fans at it. And it's just we're not getting. We had a couple of bases loaded opportunities in that game and couldn't get a run out of it. Not one run. So, I mean, that's
a bad loss.
Yeah, it's a bad loss. They were like 6-18 at the time, or 6-19. They made them in. This was funny. They improved to 7-19 on the year. By beating the Ole Miss Rebels, but right now, you know, I mean, hell, we're bottom of the third, down 2-1. Tri-state rivalry. I mean, it just comes down to the team just can't hit. We're not getting many hits. We only had 6 hits yesterday, 4 hits Friday night. I mean, you just. I hate to say, you know, I know we're going to talk about some other stuff further down the line here that you want to talk about, but man, if I see a glaring issue with this staff right here, and I brought this up to Dump a couple of weeks ago and just text messaging, not on the podcast, obviously, but Clement is just, I don't see any kind of improvement whatsoever in the way we approach hitting. And that's what a hitting coach does. A hitting coach teaches you how to hit, takes kids and shows them ways to hit. Now, I realize these players have private hitting coaches. Hell, they may have 2 private hitting coaches, not just the one on their team. And so they're getting instruction from this guy, that guy, and all around. But, man, that's the same all over. Every school's got that. It's that. Don't tell me that why Mississippi State, for instance, man, they hit to all fields. Hit well to all fields. They beat the shift. They do they do things that that we can't do. And the players there have private hitting coaches. So Clement is just not that good to me, and I'm sorry. I wouldn't have. If I've got a true complaint about Mike Bianco, there it is, boy, right there. He is somehow married to Clement. He's got pictures of him having carnal knowledge with a horse or something. I don't know. And he just won't fire him if we don't hit better with him out there.
How long's he been here, Clement?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I wish you.
I mean, 3 years?
It's been several years.
20 years?
Oh, I don't remember. I'm serious. I do not remember. Too many.
Was he here when we won the championship?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was here. But, again, Tim Elko, Peyton Chardonnay, Gonzalez, all them they were good talent.
Yeah.
It don't take a lot of coaching to teach Tim Elko how to. He joined the staff in 2015. There it is.
Well, this kind of move us right on into from the board subject, which is.
Wait a minute, I got some time up. The next up, let me get those covered up. We do have Little Rock coming to town Tuesday night, but after playing Memphis the way we did last Tuesday, I'm not real sure I can chalk that up in the W column right now either. And then we go to Gainesville, and Florida just completed a 3-game sweep of Arkansas just before our game started. But they did get swept by Alabama, one of the worst teams in the conference last week. I don't know. But this next week's series will begin on Thursday, just like that Kentucky series did too. So
yeah,
it'll be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night series.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
The hell! All right, I don't know. Well, Valerie tried to call a while ago, and now all of a sudden Siri just heard me say something. I don't know. But so yeah, all right. Moving on to from the boards. Since we're already on baseball, let's just go ahead and stay right there, and let's jump on top of that big giant elephant in the room. Let's talk about Mike Bianco, and more specifically, his record against Mississippi State, which just, quite frankly, isn't that very good. So, I mean, I had nothing to say. I mean, other than, it just, they have his number. There's people out there that people have their numbers on, and State just got them. He can't get over that hump.
Yeah. It seems like, to me, on the board, this is the from the board segment, I would say 80 to 90% of the posters on there want the guy fired.
Yeah.
I go back and forth in my mind a little bit on that because of the national championship, man. He won a national championship in 2022. And that buys you a ton of equity in my book. But now here's another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong. When it comes to college baseball, have we, and by we I mean Ole Miss, have we or have we not given Mike a ton of support, resources, the tools needed to succeed, like top 5, top 10 in the country? It's not like football where we're scratching and scraping and struggling to keep up from a facility standpoint and other things. This is, from what I understand, we're pumping out the money in baseball. Maybe not as much as Mississippi State, but enough to do more than we do. So you're saying that's wrong?
I'm saying that's wrong. We are pumping it out in facilities. The fans do come out and put the butts in the seats. We give them the support, right? They give him a decent budget when it comes to hiring coaches and stuff like that, because that ain't NIL. That ain't rev share. But I'm telling you, even since the national championship run of 2022, just those 4 years since then, there's a total different game now when it comes to roster building. That's the money we're not giving him. We're not giving him no more money to build a roster. It's a total different game. It's almost like you could take the first 22 years he was here out, because it doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is how we're building rosters today, and we have not given him that kind of money yet. Not compared. We're about 7th or 8th in the conference in NIL and rev share in baseball, and that's in the conference. All right? But the problem is, that's where we play the majority of our games. If we were getting, I was arguing with a guy on the board a while back. He says we're top 15 in the nation in NIL in baseball. If we were top 15 in the nation,
we was top 3. Did you read that?
No, I didn't see that.
Said we were top 3 in the money we put into baseball. I don't believe that.
Maybe again, that's major. He's talking about overall budget. All right. Not NIL and rev share. That's all I'm talking about right now is NIL and rev share. I think our roster's somewhere around in the. See, that's the problem too. NIL is not. It's not public.
Yeah.
That ain't run through the. There's no way to find out what a school pays in NIL. But we've all got our estimates. We've all heard our people talk of what they feel like we've got in there, and we've got somewhere in the range of, I think, a little over $2 million in roster in NIL. State's about double that. That's building a roster since firing Lamonis. Everybody wants to talk about, well, they fired their coach that gets into damn Omaha and wins it because he can't win the next year. Well, yeah, they did. But it's a total different deal. Now they've hired this guy, and he's a good coach. I ain't taking him away, but they've given him they decided to go all in football. In baseball, because they just know they can't compete in football and basketball. They've prioritized. They said, all right, here's where we can compete. We've got, to me, and I hate to say this, but they've got the best ballpark in the whole SEC. It's better than Alec-Bach and LSU. It's better than Baum Stadium. I would put it there. I mean, it is. It's a damn fine ballpark.
Yeah.
Great atmosphere. And so when it comes to facilities and the amount of money that they're giving to the roster, if we're worried about this domination, it's going to continue until we decide what we want to do. And I'll be honest with you, I've told this on the board several times. I'm a baseball guy, you know that. But I don't want to see us take away from football and men's basketball to make that happen. Let baseball be what it is. It's a good springtime sport for everybody to go out there, the kids to throw beer in the air. But that's what it is. I don't think we're good enough. I don't think we're big enough to support all three men's sports equally, and also have a decent women's basketball program. And we've also got a pretty decent girls softball team. We don't want to talk about them here. And they've got a hard schedule as well. They started out slow, but it's because of who they played. But, again, rev share and NIL is where we're not giving him. We give him all the money he wants to. He wants to hire him a coach. He can do all that he wants to. And that's why I say, fire Clement, get him the hell out of here. Get us a hitting coach like he brought in Joel Mangrum. And was a good hitting coach. A good pitching coach. And our pitching has excelled since then. But, I get it. Hey, look, if we want to move on from him at the end of this year, I'm all for it. I wouldn't personally do it. I feel like we can demand some, or should demand some staffing changes. But I'm perfectly fine if we decide to fire him too.
I hope Mike don't make Keith fire him.
No, I hope he don't make him fire him either. But
no, I don't want that. I don't want him to. But this, I don't know, man. This ain't just about Mississippi State. I saw this morning somewhere where we had since 2022, had a 36-62 record in the SEC.
Well, yeah. Well, we had 2 really bad years, but then bounced back last year with a pretty damn good one. So, anyway, like I said, if we were 15th nationally NIL and rev share, and we played in the ACC, shit, we'd already be talking about hosting. Where will we get? We'd already be pretty much a lock. But we play in the SEC where we're 7th or 8th in just our league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to play every one of those teams that's got better rosters.
It just sucks to just get completely dismantled every time we play Mississippi State. That is hard to stomach. No matter the sport. And I understand that they take their baseball very seriously.
That's what I just said. They went all in for baseball because they realized that they're just not going to catch up in football and basketball. Neil and Chase and them's talked about this on several of their podcasts where they talk about it. Says, for your smaller schools.
Similar to what Ole Miss does in football. It's no secret football's king shit around Ole Miss. And I would never. Is at State. Man.
I never would want to lose any game whatsoever to Mississippi State. But let me ask you this: if I told you, all right, we can win all 3 baseball games, or but we have to lose the Egg Bowl. Which one you taking? I know which one I'm taking, and I'll do it, and I won't even bat an eye. Yeah. I won't bat an eyeball at it.
But it should.
I want to win that Egg Bowl.
But why is it an either or? Why do we have to choose?
Because right now it's all about who we pay. We got to pay them to play here, and we can't pay them.
That just started a few years ago. Even before then, they was kicking our ass in baseball.
Yep, and again, I admitted that they have his number. But now you can wipe out all of that before. It just really matters. From the time this whole rev share transfer portal bullshit started, that's the time on. That's the landscape we're in now in college athletics, and that's how we got to look at it, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, I'm fine if we fire him or whatever. But I'm just saying. I
just hope he don't fire him.
I'm just saying this at the end of well, I want to win with him. I like Mike Bianco. I want to win with him. I don't want to have to fire him. I want to keep him right here as long as he wants to coach. I'd like to see him retire, not resign, but retire.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, obviously I understand winning is what the game's about. I mean, and if he's not getting it and we fire him, that's fine. But again, unless we're willing to shell out the money, I don't see the next coach coming in here. I don't give a damn who it is. We could talk Tony Vitello into leaving the San Francisco Giants and coming there. It's number one. I don't like that asshole. Oh, that was the stupidest shit I ever seen in my life. Who the hell? He think he's going to leave an MLB team like the Giants? We ain't talking about just a small market club here like in Oakland or something. Oh, that come.
He's had a rough start, hasn't he?
Who's that? Vitello? I don't watch the major leagues anymore. So, but again,
I heard he's had a rough start.
But yeah, well, we've beaten this horse down. I just don't. Back on it. I don't know. Unless we, what do we want to be? Do we want to be a football school with a baseball problem, or do we want to be a baseball school with a football problem?
Well,
you know, I prefer to be a football. Well, and there we give some money, but I'm not asking for him to lose his funding. In fact, I'd like to see us give him a few more, you know, a little bit more rev share and say, hey, go fix what you fucking broke, dude. You know?
You know what really sucks? Now it's just, and I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm not saying that at all. But now it's just so convenient for everybody to blame any kind of shortcomings on money. Well, we just don't have the money. We ain't got the money, so and so does. And so you're gonna, as this thing rolls on, you're gonna start to see coaches lean on that more and more. That just sucks.
Well, that's what it's going to come down to, too, if you go try to hire a coach. If you want to try to hire a coach, the first question out of their mouth is, how much rev share am I getting? Especially if you're not a football.
Yep.
I mean, that's the first question they're going to ask, especially if you're not the football coach, because they know at almost any school not named Duke or Kentucky that the football team is going to be the team that gets the biggest deal. Now, at state, it's going to be the baseball team. Yep. They're getting the biggest cut. I mean, they want, and I know this. I've got too many friends that are state fans. They want to win in football. They can't stand that, and that's what I got in a little argument with the guy the other day. And they were talking about how they were going to dominate us in this game and this sport and all that. And I said, I'm pretty sure he is. So this is where y'all tell us y'all just a football team, school. And I was like, let me tell you something, brother. I said, there ain't no way in hell that you're telling me you wouldn't trade these 3 games to win the Egg Bowl. If you tell me that, if you told me you would do that, he's lying to me.
Yeah. Period.
Let them make, even though that money they have invested in baseball, don't let them ever tell you they wouldn't trade any of it to win the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
So, Liberty done give up another solo homer. It's 3-1, top of the 4th, 2 outs though. All right, let me share the screen one more time. Let's talk about this. How you like that?
I don't like it at all, but I really hate the caption.
Yeah, I mean,
the caption was.
That's what I got mad about.
Took it to the next level.
Used his little catchphrase.
Yeah. And and the phrase is specifically about Ole Miss. This is different than Ole Miss. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. And he Deuce obviously put out he kind of crawfished is what I said. Yeah, he come in there and said, y'all know I'm all Ole Miss. No, obviously, I mean, you're not. I mean, if this is what you're...
No, he's not all Ole Miss. I don't care if he played there. I would never do that. Me would never do that. I'm all Ole Miss.
I wouldn't either, brother. And there's no way in hell. You got to almost feel like that Lane... This is all orchestrated. I mean, it just feels like it is. He sought him out.
You can't. I'm not going to put this on Lane, though. This is
no. Deuce should have had to know. Is he that stupid? That's what I want to know. Because there's no other way we could possibly ever take that.
None.
There's no other way.
It wasn't open to interpretation. It was what it said.
I mean... And he can say there, all right, that was maybe I used bad judgment. Yeah, you used terrible judgment. Horrible judgment. And I mean, he has been a good ambassador for Ole Miss over the years, but that was about the, I don't know, stupidest thing I have ever in my life seen him do.
That was so ignorant. And so ignorant, man. He just... I mean, he undid 30 years in a split second.
Absolutely. I agree. It was, as people online talking, I'm like, man, can y'all honestly, is he? I guess my question is he that damn stupid? I mean, it's such a stupid. I'm sorry, it was. Anyway, I guess we're probably giving them more airtime than we deserve if we keep talking about it. But I ain't never even knew Deuce McCallister had a son worth recruiting.
Dude, that's something else that.
Is he good enough that Lane wants him? Really? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And if he is,
why ain't we looking at him?
Why ain't we looking at him?
Exactly. Why ain't he up here?
Why is he even considering LSU? But that's the way I am. That's the way I am. I mean,
why ain't we even heard of him? I didn't know the boy. I didn't know Deuce had a son.
Me neither.
And I not only watched him every down he played at Ole Miss, but I watched almost every single down he ever done at the Saints.
Me too. And
I
ain't never heard about no boy.
I've never heard about a son. And if he's good enough that Lane is trying to recruit him, then we should be on him too. And I ain't heard not one person talk about Deuce McCallister's son.
Totally agree.
Now I realize he probably, if he was born after he went to the Saints, he's lived all of his life in New Orleans, and I mean he's only got one school, and it ain't like Deuce could really have spent a lot of time coming to Oxford for ball games when he had to be playing for the Saints the next day. But we should be on him too. We should at least have heard about him.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Completely agree.
I'm going to, because I like Deuce McCallister. I do. I've always liked Deuce McCallister. Because I like Deuce McCallister, I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm just, for me to give him the benefit of the doubt, I have now got to put him in the stupider than Bruiser Kennard category. What did Bruiser do? I don't know, man. He was just always considered dumb. My daddy always told me, he said that Vaught had a entrance exam to try to get him in Ole Miss. They asked him where the capital of Mississippi was. He said Mendenhall, and he said, "Well, all right, Mendenhall's 30." He said Mendenhall is 30 miles from Jackson. 100 minus 30 is 70. 70 is passing. You're in. And
Mendenhall, capital of Mississippi, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's 30 miles from Jackson, 30 from 100 is 70, and 70 is passing. So you're in. So now for me to give him the benefit of the doubt, he's now got to be considered the dumbest player that ever played. Because that was something very dumb.
Part of his statement, you could tell a little bit, he couldn't understand what the big deal was.
Yep. Well, that reiterates what I'm saying.
That's exactly right. That's what really makes him look dumb. Mm-hmm. Dude, you can't understand how that would rub an Ole Miss fan the wrong way. What?
He's definitely not the smartest. He ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, that's for sure.
I mean, God gracious, man.
And then to have people on the boards and stuff thinking we're soft because we get mad about it.
Oh, dude, that was such a shit take from Danny McBride.
Just call me soft. I mean, that's all I can tell. That's what I told him. I said, look, bud, we're going to be friends tomorrow. I said, but just call me soft. I'm not, I'm not putting up with that.
I said, honestly, I don't see how any Ole Miss fan could
take it any other way.
Yeah.
But, I know what you said. It's not on Lane. It's got to be 100% on Deuce. But I really want to clarify what I meant by when I said you got to feel like that Lane orchestrated it. Was it just go back to what I was saying? Me and you never knew he had a son. Number two, we didn't have a clue that the boy was good enough for Lane that Lane going to want him. So if he isn't on anybody's radar out there anywhere, I feel like Lane went after him just to get Deuce on campus to take that whole damn picture. Let's see if he offers him a scholarship.
Yeah.
Then
he says, did y'all want him to lie? What a prick.
Yeah, so that's what I meant by it felt like orchestrated. Because it all comes down to the fact that we've never even heard of the kid.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lane would have heard about him, but when he finds out, hey man, Deuce McCallister got a boy over there, all right, when we get Deuce here, I can throw another gig at them Ole Miss fans again.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that's about all I got for this week. How about you?
That's it, man. That's it. Another good show. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Go to hell, LSU. And go to the worst place. Please go there.
Yep, like I said, that's for the Metal Rebel myself. Hotty toddy.
Over and out.